look, we've all been there. So you're playing against knights and you really need to kill the big one. So you're going to throw everything you got at them. You throw multi-melter devastators, gladiators and repulsors, overcharged plasma from a redemptor, and the long distance shots from a whirlwind, and you're just not quite killing it. So you go all in, your whole army, you got your Lehman Russes shooting at it, your Chaos Defiler, the Infernal and Rapturous has to go out of the top floor window, las gunfire from the guard, a sentry's hunt to kill a missile. This Plague Burst Crawler fires over the building. You start to resort to AP 0, strength 4 shots, just hoping you can plink that final wound, and you waste a lot of time rolling some gunshots from some goblins. And at the end of it all, the knight remains on one singular wound. This has happened to me so many times across so many games, across so many opponents with so many different units. I've reduced something to 1 or 2 wounds and I'm gutted that I can't kill it, and shooting is over. Then either you're too far for a charge, or maybe the thing you're going to charge it with is just not going to kill it. But the real question after all that is, why didn't you throw a grenade? Well, to be fair, all but one of the units I just showed you doesn't have the grenade keyword. You can comment down below which one you think it is. But I genuinely believe people just aren't throwing enough goddamn grenades. In this video, I want to explain the grenade strat a little bit better to you if you don't know it already, and explain a few places where it's really good. This video hasn't got a sponsor, but it is brought to you by me, and my Patreon is linked down below if you want to join that and get involved with the Discord community for Magic and for Warhammer and for gaming in general. We are running a TTS Warhammer League very soon with prize support, where we'll be playing Comp 40k on Tabletop Simulator, and it's a good fucking time. I'd love to see some more fresh blood come in. It's free to get into, or well, you have to pay $2 a month to be a patron. Once you're a patron, you get on the Discord, then it's free tickets for any events on the Discord, and there's going to be prize support for that too. First, let's address the bugbear in the room that some people who seem to hate 10th without ever having actually fucking played it are gonna say. I remember when grenades were a weapon profile that I could pick and choose. Shut up. Grenades used to suck. They fucking sucked. Crack and frag grenades were bollocks, and people forgot to use them all the time. Now people forget to use them, but they're actually good. The grenade strat, as per the 40k app that you can see on screen here, is a 1 CP stratagem. You should spend one of your strategic command points to get a unit with a grenade keyword to lob a grenade. When in your shooting phase, the target is 1 grenade unit from your army that is not within fighting range of any enemy units that has not been selected to shoot this phase yet. Select 1 enemy unit that is not within engagement range as well of any units from your army, and is within 8 inches of and visible to your grenade unit. Roll 66 for each 4 up. For each 4 plus, the enemy unit suffers 1 mortal wound. You get to roll 6 dice. Each 4 plus is a mortal wound, which means on average you're doing 3 mortal wounds. If you said to me that I could pay 1 CP at any time to do 3 mortal wounds to something, I would bite your hand off. That is such a good piece of utility. Of course, there are ways you have to maneuver to do this. For a start, you need units in your army that have grenade. So, for example, Gravis armor things don't tend to have grenade, like the aggressors that I just showed you. And Beast Snaggers don't have grenades either, but normal Orc boys do. And it's within 8 inches as well. Also, you have to have not shot yet, but you can lob a grenade and then shoot. I guess the whole caveat of hasn't shot yet is so that it forces you to use some CP before you commit to finishing your shooting without having to finish your shooting and then decide to use the CP. It's a bit of stops you from hedging your bets. But the circumstance I just mentioned is a very good one for where grenades are good. There'll be circumstances where you will just fall short of killing a knight, or a Catan, or a Mozrog, or any other really hard to kill unit, especially hard to kill units without feel no pains. Let's talk about Land Raiders. Land Raiders have no feel no pain, where the other examples I just gave, like Catan and Mozrog and the Knights do. But a Land Raider is a T12, 2-up save, toughness 12 model. It is chunky, it is thick, and it is hard to kill. You will struggle to kill it if your anti-tank doesn't. And then you start to fire weight of fire, you start firing bolt pistols and bolt guns, trying to plink that final wound. How often have you done that? Instead, if you have a large target that you really need to kill, like a Land Raider, for example, position one of your troop units within 8 inches, because they want to charge what's inside and try and kill them anyway, or at least tie them up, right? Position them within 8, so if you fail to kill it with all your big guns or leave it on 1 wound, you can use the grenade to finish it off. Sometimes your spike can do 6 wounds, sometimes you get really unlucky and do 0, but on average, statistically, you're doing 3. So really, just trying to pick that last singular wound is very easy with the grenade strat. Beyond that, there's some other really good applications for this. So firstly, it can help you to clear screens. Without getting Tabletop Simulator out again to show you how screens work, screening and move blocking are both kind of the same thing. It's when you put a load of models out in the way of a building, stop a vehicle coming through, or stop a charge, or make a charge too long by going around. You do it with termagants and chaff stuff. Obviously, you can shoot to clear screens, but some armies shooting's pretty bad, like Orc players. So you pay 1 CP and lob a grenade. Now, of course, your opponent's going to when they take the mortal wounds removed from the edges, but still, with a grenade, a couple of bits of plink shooting, you may be able to break a hole in that screen and get yourself through for a charge. Sometimes all you need is 1 or 2 models dead, so when you make your charge, you may not charge the thing you want to get to in the back, but when you pile in and consolidate after killing the unit that's screening, with those models dead, gives you that little bit more room to tag the thing you're trying to catch. Then there's some really fringe reasons to use grenades. Drukhari Archons with a 2-up invulnerable save, and Ghazghkull Thraka's little Makari Goblin has a 2-up invulnerable save. In the case of Gaz, it's 1 singular wound with a 2-up invulnerable that you can't re-roll, so firing at it is kind of annoying if your opponent just keeps making their 2-ups. However, they don't get the inventive against grenades, so if you kill Gaz's bodyguard unit and you want to try and shoot him or charge him, charge is probably your best idea, but shoot him, you just grenade Makari to death and then fire anti-tank into Gaz, who's only got a 4-up invuln. And same with the Drukhari Archon. You've got to pop a 2-up save, he's got 4 wounds, so if he's left and away from his bodyguard unit, lobbing a grenade at him might just get the Archon out of your hair for good. On top of all that, there's the really obvious point of that it's extra damage in the shooting phase for armies that struggle with shooting. Now, there's some interesting points here that one of the non-shooting armies, Chaos Demons, don't have grenades, neither do Necrons, neither do Tyranids. I'm sorry, you're not really part of this conversation, but Orcs, for example, really struggle to output damage in other phases, barring 1 or 2 units in the shooting phase. So having a grenade in your back pocket or on your belt or wherever you should store a grenade, but either way, to throw into your enemy to get a few more points of damage, whether that be on a screen or a particularly tough target, is pretty good. I use it all the time. It's also good into tough targets, things that are T12 or above, Knights and Titans, for example, because even if they've got a feel no pain, getting past both needing to wound a high toughness target and a good save really removes some of the layers that you need to do damage. This is particularly good, like I said, to Catan. They do have a 4-up feel no pain, so on average you're doing 1.5 wounds, but 1 wound is still, every wound you do to a Catan is a massive, exodus, an adventure, a whole fucking trial and tribulation to get. So just layer on some wounds with a grenade strat, and in addition to that, the tank shock strat, which is kind of part of this video, but might be its own one, but both of those are underused strats that allow you to get some extra damage here and there. There are also plenty of circumstances where you don't want to shoot things. For example, there are some armies that have a thing where you shoot their stuff, they get to shoot you back, like the Necron Hexmark. There's also units that move when you shoot them. The Berserkers from the World Eaters and the Carnifexes from Tyranids. If you shoot at them, they can move at you. And in the case of the Carnifexes and maybe the Berserkers, they can move into combat with you. So, you don't want to shoot them. But sometimes when you go to charge them, you don't want them to hit full strength. It may mean that you just can't quite kill them, so doing a bit of damage will help you to get them dead. Like I said, into a Carnifex with a 2-up save, some mortal wounds are a great way of just softening that target up so you can kill them with your melee unit that wants to get into combat and fight first. On the topic of fight first, if the enemy fights first or fights on death, the grenade strat can allow you to pop some of those bodies and make that hurt back at you, or the initial hurt, a lot worse. In the case of like Drukhari Witches with the Succubus that fights first, or the Kaldis Assassin and Imperial armies, just lobbing a grenade in to either remove bodies from the Witch Squad, or in the case of the Kaldis, maybe just killing it outright, is a better way than charging in and getting murdered in the fight first step. And then on fights on death, if you throw a grenade and kill 1 or 2 World Eater bodies when they fight on death, it means that 1 or 2 World Eater bodies are dying there and not next to your men, where they can then roll a 4-up and twat you in the face. Either way, I genuinely believe the grenade strat is probably the most underused strat in the entire game. I always hear people talking about rapid ingress this and Overwatch that. And to be fair, Overwatch is very, very good. But ultimately, I think people should talk about grenade and tank shock a lot more, especially the grenade strat. So next time you leave a fucking huge model on 1 wound, get one of your troops to just pull that pin, lob the grenade, and when it dies, tell them Pleasant Kenobi sent you. Bitch. Let me know if that was helpful. I hope that was at least mildly insightful or thought-provoking in how you play 40k. I know people like to pay for coaching and weird services where you pay £400 to be taught how to put objectives down, but I just want to share some thoughts on the game from both a competitive and a casual standpoint that don't involve you paying a load of money to get there. This content's free. However, if you do want to support the channel, I've got a Patreon down below, and on my Discord server right now, we're running a Warhammer League, or we're about to run a Warhammer League on TTS, Tabletop Simulator. It's free to enter, and there will be price support, so get involved. If you enjoyed this video, why don't you click this one where I talk about deep striking and the stats behind it, because you probably still do it too much, don't you? You fuck. Ta-ta for now.